What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, November 21st, 2024, and I have another emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 21:07 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Russia again. So what you're looking at here is a video filmed in the Krasnodar region of Russia, and this was filmed tonight. Apparently, Ukraine has struck another target deep inside of Russia, potentially with Western missiles. You can see this massive fireball there on the horizon, and you can see that fireball is so intense that the entire night sky is lit up orange. And this comes just less than 24 hours after Putin launched an ICBM at Ukraine with hypersonic warheads, and he threatened to strike any Western country that helps Ukraine to strike Russian territory. So this is extremely concerning, guys. It looks like potentially Russia is going to be launching another ICBM tonight or tomorrow. We know that Russia has closed a certain part of its airspace for potentially missile tests tonight and tomorrow from November 22nd to November 23rd. And they did this yesterday when they launched that ICBM towards Ukraine. And here you can see the region of Russia that is currently under a missile warning for the 22nd and the 23rd. You can see basically the same area of Russia under this warning as yesterday. And we're also hearing that Ukrainian MPs, Ukrainian members of parliament, have reportedly been warned of an impending Russian missile attack on the Ukrainian parliament building in Kyiv, and they've canceled all parliamentary sessions until at least December, okay? So looks like Russia is going to strike the parliament. It could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow, but we do have this missile warning in southwestern Russia, and we have another strike by Ukraine, potentially with Western missiles inside of Russian territory. And right now, tonight, we have a presidential doomsday plane that just got aerially refueled over Kansas. This presidential doomsday plane took off from Dyess Air Force Base, which is one of our main bomber bases, and it went all the way up to Missouri, and then it went back to Colorado, and then it met an aerial refueler right near Dodge City, Kansas, and it got refueled somewhere near Dodge City, and then it went off of the flight tracker, so it turned its transponder off. Okay, so this is extremely concerning. This is known as the National Airborne Operations Center. The President and the Defense Secretary can command the entire U.S. military and the U.S. nuclear arsenal from this plane. It's EMP resistant or EMP proof, and during a nuclear war or some kind of a world war, the president and the defense secretary would be scrambled to these planes and they would go up in the air. And so something must be going on if they sent one of these planes up and they aerially refueled it this late at night. That's extremely unusual. And then having it turn its tracker off this late at night is extremely unusual. And the White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said that the White House was aware that Russia was planning to attack Ukraine with an intermediate-range ballistic missile, and that they briefed Ukraine and close allies in the past few days to help them prepare. And she said that Russia was responsible for the escalation. And Britain is now directly involved in the Ukraine war after its Storm Shadow missiles were used to strike targets inside of Russia, according to Moscow's ambassador. And Russia's foreign ministry has condemned the opening of a U.S. missile defense base in Poland labeling it a provocation and threatening a possible strike against the facility. In response, Warsaw dismissed Moscow's claims. Maria Zakharova, spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, described the deployment of a U.S. missile defense base in Poland as a provocation, claiming that it fits into a long-standing practice of placing NATO infrastructure closer to Russia's borders. Zakharova claimed that the deployment raises the overall level of the nuclear threat and that Russia considers the base a priority target and would be ready to strike it with its available means if necessary. In response, Paweł Wroński, spokesman for the Polish Foreign Ministry, emphasized that the base is purely defensive in nature. Its purpose is to intercept ballistic missiles, particularly from countries whose policies rely on constant threats and declarations of potential invasions. If Russia renews its threats, it means that in the future the U.S. and NATO will have to strengthen air defenses along the entire eastern flank to make such threats unrealistic to carry out. So this is huge news, guys. Okay, Russia threatening to strike the Polish missile defense base. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do that, just like they tried to hit the Patriot missiles with their Kinzhal hypersonic missiles and their Iskander missiles. They launched this massive attack on the Patriot battery. When Ukraine first got their Patriot missiles, Russia tested them, and they failed the test. Ukraine was able to shoot all their missiles down. It's possible that Putin may try to launch some of those hypersonic warheads that he used last night against Ukraine at the Polish system to see what it's made of. And Rob McGowan, the deputy chief of the British Defence Staff, said that the UK is prepared to send its soldiers to fight Russia if it invades a NATO country on the alliance's eastern flank. He said that UK forces are ready to face Russia tonight. If the British Army was asked to fight tonight, it would fight tonight, Rob McGowan, the deputy chief of the British Defence Staff, told the House of Commons Defence Committee. I don't think anybody in this room should be under any illusion that if the Russians invaded Eastern Europe tonight, then we would meet them in that fight. The striking comments came as MPs asked McGowan Thursday how many British brigades could get to NATO's eastern flank in the event of a major escalation by Russia. And Russian lawmakers approved an almost 30% hike in defense spending today, okay, for next year. So next year, Russia is going to spend 30% more on defense, which is absolutely crazy. And we know that Sweden has already handed out World War III and nuclear war survival manuals, and 28 out of the 30 pages in those manuals are focused on nuclear fallout shelters and war and surviving war and resisting invasion, okay? And we know that Finland is now going to be printing up some manuals. We know that Poland and the Baltics have already distributed manuals. We know that Russia is mass producing shipping container fallout shelters. So, guys, Putin is getting ready to do the unthinkable. I think he's getting ready to nuke Ukraine. He already revised the nuclear doctrine of Russia. Last night was a warning shot. He was testing the waters to see what NATO would do in response. He was testing the air defenses, and next time it could potentially be nuclear, okay? And the IAEA Board of Governors passed a resolution ordering Iran to urgently enhance its cooperation with the agency, with 19 countries voting in favor, 3 against, and 12 abstaining, according to diplomats cited by Reuters. Iran condemned the IAEA Board of Governors resolution as political and destructive, warning of reciprocal actions. In response, Tehran has begun activating advanced centrifuges, Iran's foreign ministry and atomic energy organization said in a joint statement. So Tehran, that's the capital of Iran, they're going to start mass producing nuclear material, and they're going to try to build a warhead, just like I told you guys, okay? They're going to try to do it before Trump gets sworn in, because we know Trump supports denuclearizing Iran. And we've seen all these suspicious earthquakes in Iran over the last month or so. And a lot of the seismographs of those earthquakes look just like the earthquakes from the 2016 North Korean nuclear test. And I want to remind you guys that Iran already launched some type of an anti-satellite weapon, or EMP, into orbit a few weeks ago. And U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has stated that he is preparing to propose sanctions against the International Criminal Court and its officials following their issuance of arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. In addition, he says that he will also propose legislation which would see sanctions levied against any state or nation that attempts to abide by the ICC arrest warrants. Absolutely despicable, guys. The International Criminal Court issuing arrest warrants for the Prime Minister of Israel and the former Israeli Defense Minister. That is a huge sign that we are living in the end times, okay? They're going on a witch hunt for these Israeli leaders simply because Israel was standing up for itself and being strong. They don't want Israel to be strong. They want Israel to be weak, okay? And they're mad that Israel is standing up for itself and they have strong leaders. Want to just play this clip from earlier today. I recorded U.S. nuclear bombers communicating earlier this afternoon. One of them was a stealth bomber with the call sign Death 11, and the other two were B-52s with the call signs Doom 11 and Doom 12. It's very rare to hear something like this, and what's extremely concerning is that they got a green light for something. I'm not sure exactly what, but they were communicating with Barksdale Air Force Base and U.S. Strategic Command, and somebody gave them a green light. So they're probably airborne still right now, and this green light could potentially be weapons authorizations, basically giving them the authorization to use nukes. So let me just play this for you. This is extremely rare, and it shows that our nuclear forces are on very high alert.
On 11175, I have you, Lima Charlie, calming you over. Mainsail, Red River has you loud and clear on 11175. Break. Death 11, Doom 11, Doom 12. Red River on 11175.
So that was just Barksdale calling the bombers, Death 11, Doom 11, and Doom 12. And then now you're going to hear the stealth bomber pilot or one of the crew members respond. You can hear the droning noise of the plane in the background.
Red River, go for Death 11 on 11175.
So that was just the stealth bomber.
Death 11 from Pine Tree. Green light. How copy?
Okay, so Death 11 from Pine Tree. Never heard that call sign before. Green light. Not sure what that means.
Death 11 from Pine Tree. Green light. How copy? Copy is green light. Time now 1900 Zulu. Doom 11 flight. Copy is green light 1900 Zulu.
So that was just one of the B-52s saying that he heard the green light. So very, very concerning. And the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un addressed the Korean army today saying that they have to prepare for World War III at the door. And NATO member Romania on Thursday signed a deal with the U.S. to buy 32 F-35s. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I am monitoring the situation. It looks like Ukraine has struck another Russian target with Western missiles tonight after Putin threatened to launch more strikes like last night with ICBMs and hypersonic warheads. And there is a threat to the Ukrainian parliament. So I'm going to be monitoring everything. And if anything happens, I will be live in the 24/7 stream, which is on right now. I have these nuclear codes broadcasting to the 24/7 stream so you can hear everything going on live as it happens. What I'll actually do is I'll listen to my own stream sometimes if I'm not home. I'll turn it on so I can hear the nuclear codes being transmitted, and I can chat with people and get information from other people in the chat. There's a good flow of information in the chat. People are constantly exchanging information about what's going on, any news updates. So check it out. And also follow me on Telegram and Twitter. I post all my updates over there. And the links to those accounts are in my description below this video. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.